Carla, Iona and Amy, who are going to their presentation on our PIC Learning project from last year.
Hello and welcome to our presentation. In the next 15 minutes, we would like to share with you our learning journey with the handheld devices. We would like to show you how our learning has been different, how we have enjoyed working in different ways, and to show you how innovative it is. The main difference in our learning has been the use of the Nokia N800 internet tablets. The N800s are small internet-enabled devices which have a stylus and a touchscreen keyboard. For a year, our class has had an internet tablet each to see how this has affected our learning. We combine these N800s with our smartboard, wireless internet, the mobile phones and the learning platform. We will take you through the journey that we took last year as we began to use the N800s by explaining some of the activities which we have used the N800s for. One of our major school trips happened at the beginning of Year 6. We went to a little town called Rosagwalia near Bala in North Wales. This one-week trip included lots of fun outdoor activities such as canoeing, gorge walking, orienteering and lots more. However, last year the visit, which has happened for the past 22 years, was much more exciting as we were able to take our N800s with us. We used them for many different things, such as researching about places, browsing on the internet, looking for information, writing diaries, and also for taking pictures to make a record of our work. We took the N800s with us in every activity, apart from the wet ones. They probably would not have survived being soaked on the gorge walk or when our canoe overturned. Also, on the last day, we went on the hill trail, which is where we are given a map, a phone and a tent, and we had to find our own way back without an adult. We used the N800s in various ways. Some of us used Memo Mapper, which is an application with free installed maps, to help us find our way. We also used the N800s to take pictures from the views from the hilltops, and finally, to keep us occupied whilst we were eating lunch. As well as the N800s, the teachers and ourselves used mobile phones with M-Explore software. This allowed pictures of our activities to be sent to the website. Our parents could then log in and see what we were doing. It even allowed our parents to see us swimming down the gorge in the gorge walk.
Shadow Forest was an enjoyable project which was based on a book called Shadow Forest by Matt Haig. It was for the Nestle Children's Book Awards 2008 and we were in the 9 to 12 age category. To get through the first stage, we had to write a short paragraph of less than 50 words. We wrote about where we would keep something special that belonged to us. I, for example, chose my gold necklace and ring that my mum gave me. I then said I would keep it in a safe under the carpet in my wardrobe. As the judges liked our idea of what we were writing about, we got through to the second round along with 49 other schools. Now, the fastest readers had to read as many books as possible in a 2-week period and then explain to the others what each one was about. Then, we had to choose our favourite, so we had a class vote to decide this. Of course, we chose Shadow Forest to win. So this was what we would do our project on for the final round. Our entry was made on our school's Uniservity learning platform and was a choose-your-own-adventure story. We used the N800s in several ways to help write the adventure. First, we used MemoPad to plan our stories. This was useful because we could write and draw our ideas and save them on the N800. Once our teachers had helped put the story together, we were put into groups across the 2 classes. Each group of 4 had 2 N800s. The script was written on the N800s and loaded onto Uniservity. Other members of the group in the computer suite would edit the story and check that each page looked the same. The Shadow Forest works like this. First, you had to pick a character to help, which was either Martha or Samuel. At the end of the main page, we put a question. To this, we added hyperlinks, so the reader had to decide which question was right or wrong. Then, they had to click on the correct answer. It then took you on to the next part of the story. On some of the pages are our videos, along. Altogether, we made 47 pages of the story, along with videos. To make the videos, we firstly made plasticine models of all the characters in the book. In addition, we also made up our own monsters. Then, we made backdrops of trees and put it up on a stand. We then used the N800s to take pictures of the models to make a stop frame animation of the models moving and acting. Next, we transferred the pictures using a USB cable and made a video on Movie Maker. Unfortunately, our project did not win the overall competition. However, the school who did win nominated Shadow Forest for the Gold Award just like we did. It was a great experience and we all had great fun missing the lessons. However, the people at university were so impressed with our work that they invited us to the BETT Show.
We had less than a month's warning that 6 of us would be going to the BETT Show in London. University had asked us to show visitors on what we had been doing, including using the 800s. We started off using forums on University to discuss what we were going to do at the show. Eventually, we decided that we were going to visit different stalls and write short reports on what we found out. The 800s are going to be really important here, as we would use them to take photos and write notes before transferring the information to the laptop computers on University stand. We had to do this because we were warned that the Wi-Fi connection was very difficult to connect to. We did have a plan, so the students back at Radstock Primary School could take part. We made a forum on Radstock University so the students at Radstock could ask a question on the 800s about what we had seen, and we would report back using the 800s. An example of the kind of things that we did when we visited the BETT Show was when we visited the computer stand. They put a very tiny chip in every laptop or computer box, which you have paid for, that can be used to identify it. There was a man who helped us with our questions. We used the 800s for writing down notes on what he was telling us. He told us that there was a computer or laptop stolen every 53 seconds. If they find the computer or laptop which was stolen, computer days check the chip scanner and the robbers go to prison. I was amazed that there are computer chips spotted all over the world, like Amsterdam, where the man who was stalking us came from. We learned a lot of things about the 800s that we did not know already, and other software and hardware pieces that we thought might come in handy at school.
Another activity our school has taken part in has been something we named Tudor Day. A camera crew from BETT to came to video and take pictures of what we were doing all day. In history, we were studying the Tudor period anyway, so Tudor Day seemed ideal. All throughout the course of the day, we imagined that we were Tudor explorers out to find new things. In the morning, we had a treasure hunt around the school premises. How it worked was quite complicated. On our 800s, we could look up a website called mExplore. It is an amazing website where you can add pictures you have taken, and then it gives you a map and shows you exactly where the picture was taken. By doing this, we went and discovered the Tudor items around the school. Most of the items we discovered were food that was made or found in the Tudor period. This included a very yummy taster of chocolate. Another thing we had to find was a few herbs and fruit and vegetables that were available during the Tudor times. We also had to find a map of what people thought the world looked like in Tudor times. This was an excellent idea to inspire our knowledge and learning of the Tudor period. In the computer suite, we were allowed 2 computers per group. 2 people not on a computer had an N800 to find out information and send messages via Uniservity. We had to send some of the information to the people in the computer suite so they could write and print out some sheets of information. At the end of the day, all the groups had to produce a piece of work. It was up to each individual group to decide how you presented your work. Some groups did a mini film, others did presentations, and a few made big posters. My group, for example, made a big poster with a hand-drawn picture of a Tudor warship and information on all the Tudor work we had done that day. We also added a sheet of paper, which we had drawn plates and bowls, which contained some of the actual food items stuck on with glue. Afterwards, BETT made a video which was sent to all of the schools around the country who ordered it. It included several clips of our Tudor Day and photos of the class. Here is a video that we made of some of the members of our old class telling you about everything we did.
An N800 internet tablet has a high-resolution, widescreen, touch-sensitive display, and it connects to the internet via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth to a mobile phone. They have a camera, educational games, and you can also have fun on them. And they've got internet access, and you can create mind maps, and you can jot down notes really easily. The Shadow Forest project was an enjoyable project that we did based on the book Shadow Forest. It was for the Nestle Children's Book Prize, and that was our entry to the competition. It was really, really fun. The Shadow Forest pages were by hyperlinks to the next pages, and you'd read a paragraph of writing and then make your choice, and one choice would be good and take you further on until you got to the end, and one choice would be bad and take you to the bad ending. We went in groups of 4 and 5 and made about 3 pages each, and then we put them all together to make one big story. Well, we made plasticine models, and we took pictures of them with the N800s at different stages, and then we put it together on the computer to make a film.
Newspaper Day was a day when we had a day's worth of reports coming in on university. We then could look up on the internet if they were true or false. We used forums to speak to each other and give each other information. And then we all got together at the end of the day, and then we could share what our groups came up with.
The BETT Show was a big event held in London. It had lots of stalls around, and it was full of technical equipment. And there was 8 children fighting from Radstock School by university to represent university. Well, we split ourselves into 2 groups of 4, and one group stayed at the university stand and went on the internet, and whilst people were walking around, they showed them how they used university. We used the wiki to find new things about Tudor history and monarchs, as well as our peers making the wiki pages. We used it to share and learn with others and with other classes. The wiki was when we searched for information and put it onto different pages to help with the Tudor Day. The Tudor Wiki helps us learn because other children can do research and post it up on the Tudor Wiki, and if you want to find out some information, just see if anyone's posted anything. And if you find any information which could be useful, you could post it up. We split into groups in the morning, and we had to find out information about what happened in the Tudors. There would be discoveries found in the field where people would have to go and find an item that was discovered in the Tudor days. There was lots of forums on the Radstock University site, and there was things to be found and lots of other things. On the forum you could ask an expert what we found out on the video. We had a choice of either making a video to show our information, or recording us speaking, or just putting all the information on a bit of paper to show it. But in the end, my group, we videoed ourselves, and we did it in the form of a news channel, and we just presented it all as if it was on the news to show it all. Also, we were being filmed by a film crew so that it would teach children about the university and online and how we used it. And they interviewed both of our teachers to explain what the forum was like and what the learning and how the learning platform would help. The Keymaster is a Year 5 and 6 production which we've been working on recently, and the basic storyline is that some children and their teacher travel through time and find out about some key events in history. It's also linked to some of our lessons which we've been doing. Well, there are lots of pages on University about it, and there are some links to some history work we've been doing, such as subjects from some of the songs, such as the Battle of Hastings and Tudor Medicine. Having an 800 helps our learning because you can go on to the learning objective while you're going to what's on the board. You can use the learning platform to help you do a lot of things, and you can jot down notes. What we will be using the 800, we can look at websites or university to do with the subject, or we can Bluetooth things to other people in the class, or we can make notes or mind maps to help us remember things that the teacher has said. We can't play games or listen to music. Mr. Griffin gave us a selection of games of what we could write about on Uniservity, and then we could choose out of all of them which ones we wanted to do. If we wanted, we could do loads of them, and if we wanted, we could just do one.
Well, we put our articles onto a forum on Uniservity, and
then Heather Govia would copy and paste them into her magazine. One of the magazines was full of just our reviews, and one of them only had a few in. But in this way, we were making the magazines.
Special occasions which we have talked about were only part of what we did with the 800s. Throughout the year we used them in lessons. An example of this is when we were doing a literacy lesson on Shakespeare to go with our Tudor project. Mr. Griffin had prepared a piece of text and added it to the Uniservity site. We had to download it and alter it into modern language. Some of us chose to work on paper, some on our 800s. It was up to us. We Bluetoothed different ideas to each other, searched the internet and used dictionaries to find out what some words meant, and worked very hard with our partner to produce our own version of the script. So really we have done quite a lot with the N800s, although we only had them for a bit less than a year. We had them for working in all different lessons and for fun at school and at home in all different ways, from the internet to finishing off our work that has been set as homework in class.
Finally, we would just like to say that we were thrilled about winning the Y Factor on Monday. We would also like to say a special thank you to our teacher, Mr. Griffin, who has opened up all of these opportunities for us and inspired us to learn creatively. Last year was our best ever year at Radstock Primary School, and we would not be here today if it wasn't for him.